heavy thoughts. Good morning and welcome to Unity Spiritual Center, Saxe, this May 29, 2022, the day before Memorial Day. Let's take a deep breath together. Just breathe and relax. Letting yourself being supported in your chairs. Whether you are sitting here in the room with me or watching online, we know and affirm that we are all one body, one love, one breath, one life. And there is no time and space and spirit. And so we let ourselves go. Trusting in the omniscient, the omnipotent, the omnipresent. We give thanks this morning for another day of life. We give thanks for another opportunity to share the gifts that we have been given with this world to contribute to its healing and evolution. We give thanks for each other, for the ability to be in communion. We give thanks for the technology that allows this experience to be broadcast to anyone in the world who tunes in. We give thanks for divine love that heals all things, that bears all things, that harmonizes all things, that is the very thing that nourishes us, sustains us. It is the same love in which we move, in which we live and have our being. So here in this state of gratitude, we celebrate life. We celebrate the lives of those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in defense of their countries. We celebrate the lives of those who are still called to risk their lives on the front lines. Here in this moment, we give thanks for the love and harmony and unity that is this community, and for the message that we spread across the land. And it is from this place that we join our voices together and sing our centering song, Spirit's Prayer. Together. Loving Spirit dwells in me. This is my divinity. As within, so without. All I need is here and now. Where there's error,
ready?
Yeah.
All right, 60-second spot on time. Can I have a clock in the corner?
It's there.
Thank you. Roll 'em.
Rolling.
Action.
Okay, here's the deal. We all know that life is busy. There aren't enough hours in the day to do all the things that we want and need to do. In fact, you're probably thinking of all the things you need to do next week right now, wondering how you're going to squeeze it all in. But the fact is, no matter who you are, no matter what you do, no matter how much is on your plate, we all have the same gift of 24 hours each day. It's 24 hours, 1,440 minutes, 86,400 seconds. All the money in the world won't let you buy one single second more than the next guy. And once that second is gone, it's gone forever. Look, there goes one right now. Another one, gone. You'd think that we would judiciously use such a limited and valuable gift. You'd think that we would choose wisely how to spend, no, invest our time. But do we? Really? I mean, after taking the time for eating and sleeping and all the other basic necessities, do we really use this gift the way we should? Think of all the great things you could do in 24 hours, all the lives you could touch, all the significant changes that could be made in your life and others. The fact is, you could actually make a difference in this world in 24 hours, or not. So, how are you investing your
Time.
Come on in, welcome. Good morning. Good morning to everyone. Thank you so much for being here. The inspirational moment, Laws of Love by Margaret Pounders. And the word is will. The destiny of us human beings lies in our capacity to choose. This realization is the primary characteristic distinguishing us from the animal kingdom. Yet not everyone recognizes and exercises this ability. We might visualize a beautiful apple tree weighed down with ripe red apples. All we need to do is pluck and eat them. But if we are blind and no one has told us of such a tree, as far as we are concerned, it is not there. So it is with free will. If we are spiritually blind, as far as we are concerned, it does not exist. It is available to all. But like every gift, it must be accepted and used. Too many people are tossed about by the winds of cause and effect. Causes not consciously set in motion, and effects in which they are powerless participants. Cause and effect is the most elementary expression of the law, and we can rise above it by interjecting a higher expression of God's law of love. Our power to choose the way we think and feel. We determine future effects by choosing our cause. Recognition of free will appears a recent development. A dog, cat, or other animal may show patience for one person or reject a brand of pet food in favor of another. Nevertheless, these are relatively unconscious choices, reactions based on sense perception as opposed to reason. This does not give us cause to look down on our animal friends. For the majority of humans, human decisions are made in this same way. The difference is that humans alone have a capacity to consciously choose what we will think and feel. To have free will, however, does not imply that we possess the power to choose our every experience, though it might be that in not choosing, our choice is unconsciously made. What we do have is the right to choose how we will think regarding our experiences. Then, as we choose our thoughts, our feelings automatically follow. Two people may undergo experiences generally regarded as traumatic. To one, it may seem devastating. The other may pass through it with no concern. The difference is that their conscious or unconscious choice of thought. And if you guys will repeat, please, our affirmation with me 3 times. I consciously choose peace, love, harmony, and joy, even in times of strife. I consciously choose peace, love, harmony, and joy, even in times of strife. I consciously choose peace, love, harmony, and joy, even in times of strife. Thank you very much.
I'm singing Peace. Oh, yeah. By the great jazz composer Horace Silver. There's a place that I know where the sycamores grow and daffodils have their fun. When the cares of the day seem to slowly fade away with the glow of the evening sun. Peace when the day is done. If I go there real late, let my mind meditate on everything to be done. If I search deep inside, let my conscience be my guide, then the answers are sure to come. Don't have to worry none. Like sweet rain when it flows like a big yellow rose, can wither and come undone. When that big yellow thing will be blossoming in spring with the kiss of the midday sun. Living has just begun. When you find peace of mind, leave your worries behind. Don't say that it can't be done. 'Cause with a new point of view, life's true meaning comes to you, and the freedom you seek is one. Peace is for everyone. Peace is for everyone. Peace is for everyone.
Peace is for everyone. Candy sang, peace is for everyone, peace is for everyone. And yet this week, not so much, huh? Quite a few people, if you're on social media, it just ran the gamut between anger, disappointment, confusion, people feeling real deep despair, people talking about being depressed, not knowing what life is, what life brings, how do we deal with this bag of stuff that life can be any given week. And I think in my 20s, my 30s, you know, when you're first out in life trying to make it on your own, I left home at 19, determined to strike out on my own, and basically I was running from my father because he and I we were doing this every single day. So I was running from that and seeking to find some peace in my life and try to figure out how do I build peace in my environment, in my world, in my head, in my heart. I think I was more disturbed about not having peace here than anything else. I just wanted quiet up here. And some days that's still what I want, decades later, that I just want this to quiet down. I want things to just chill out. I don't want the world to be heavy and confusing and hard, and I'm tired of fighting life. A lot of us are tired of fighting life. And I think as so many mourned all the young lives that were lost this week, and I did too. I thought of those young lives. I saw a post somebody did on Facebook which said she was praying for the parents who had no idea that when they kissed their children goodbye that morning, that it would be the last kiss goodbye. And then I thought of the young man who pulled that trigger. And I think about where he had to be in order to do that. What led up to all of that? And we can have all kinds of philosophical, sociological, anthropological. Yes. All kinds of conversations, theories, speculations about what that was, and still not find anything that makes us feel better about what happened. About what happened. How do you feel better? Not just, because maybe we don't feel better about what happened. How do we feel better in the midst of what happened? And how do we feel better when this stuff happens again and again? Because on some level, there is violence everywhere in this world. And I'm reminded that what happened in Uvalde, Texas, happens in some people's lives daily. Daily, daily, daily. People are living with violence and strife and war and conflict and all kinds of violence that we don't have to deal with on a daily basis. And think of this, what we felt in this week, and we're probably even pulling away from it a little bit because now it's a few days away. We're pulling away a little bit. It's becoming a little distant in our hearts and in our minds. And we don't have that constant onslaught of physical violence every day, like some people do. Like some people do. Life is this mixed bag of things. And I think for me, the only way to make sense of it was to make sense of where life comes from, to have some grasp over what life is, and to keep that forever in my mind and in my heart. Because I don't think there's anything to wrap our brains around here. I think what we do is we wrap our hearts around it. We wrap our beingness, the divinity that is us, around these things. I think it's important that we wrap that divinity, that paradigm of life that we each have, around each other. And remember that we are all parts of this precious thing called life. This precious, precious thing called life. Decades ago, before I really had a life-affirming spirituality that infused all of my beingness and my doingness, I would wake up in the middle of the night terrified of dying and dying alone and wondering what that would feel like and feeling disconnected from everyone and everything else. And that continued for a number of years until I found my place in the divine, and I felt like the divine had a place in me. I don't know what people do who don't have that. I don't know what they do. And I know there's a wide range of beliefs in this world, of life paradigms. And I hope, I pray that everybody finds something that sustains them. Because when the rug gets pulled out like this, you gotta have something to hold on to. You gotta have something that gives you meaning and that allows us to sing again in our hearts like this wonderful woman sang. We've got to be able to find joy and meaning. We have to find something to embrace as we go through life, and this stuff knocks us between the eyes. Because until we start to come together as one humanity, as one heart, as one love, as one life, as one breath that we are going to meet this stuff again and again and again. I don't know if it happens to wake us up. I don't know why it happens. What I do know is that we have free will to show up in life the way we want to show up in life. That each of us, even that young man who walked in and took all those lives, even he is the essence of the divine. Even he is the essence of the divine. Even he is the essence of the divine. Perhaps he didn't know it. How many people don't know that they are the essence of the divine? Too many. Too many. Too many. And so what do we do? What do we do? I think it's our responsibility of those who already have discovered something that sustains us, something that we believe in, something that makes life worth living, to radiate that everywhere we go, to everyone we meet. Everyone we meet. Whether we know them or not, whether we agree with them or not, whether we would sit down or invite them in our homes or not, whether we have had some kind of past history with them, whether you've got present stuff with them, and radiate love anyway. In fact, Jesus said that is job number one. Job number one. Love one another as I have loved you. Love one another as I have loved. That's a different kind of love. It's a different kind of love. In these days and times, it almost seems like a radical kind of love, and that's almost impossible to do because there are factions everywhere. As humans, we can always find something to fight about. Always. Always, always. Sometimes it's as simple as, does the toilet paper roll this way, under, or over? Which way do you put the dishes in the dishwasher? Call me for the right way to do it. We can fight about anything. In fact, you can present a fact and we fight about that, whether it's right or not. You know, for 20 years, I investigated federal discrimination complaints. And most of the time, the opposite sides were fighting about the same facts. Same facts. And they were dug in about their version of those facts. I would have the facts and statistics in the paper. I had to request the documents that told me the story of what was going on, and then I would interview all the people that were involved in that particular situation. And it was so interesting to listen to the very stories about the facts. Everybody had their story. And this one's mad about it, this one's happy about it, this one's fighting about it, this one has to manage those facts, this one has to get this person to do that. The other person doesn't want to do it because it's not fair that you're asking me about the same thing that we're all talking about, that this one agrees with and this one doesn't agree with, and I don't know why you're asking me to do that because you really shouldn't ask me to do that, even though I know that's something you have a right to ask me to do. crystal clear, right? Yeah. I learned so much from investigating those cases for 20 years. Two biggest things it taught me was ask questions before you make a decision. Ask questions before you judge. That's the other thing we humans are good at. Rush into judgment before we know a thing. Before we know the essence of a thing, we've got judgments about it. And the other thing it taught me was to stand back and observe. Be Switzerland. And listen to the sides, ask questions, stand back, don't get emotionally involved because everybody's got their emotions about their versions, their stories about the facts. And it taught me to stand back and watch. First year it was kind of hard. The first ones, because then I was siding. I always interviewed complainant first. I've listened to complain. I was like, oh my gosh, it's just so terrible. And I'm all in the story and I'm feeling what they're feeling and everything else. And I'm spiraling and going on the roller coaster ride with them. And then I'd talk to management and other people involved. I start reading the documents and I would think, oh, and then I'd have to come down out of here and come down to the facts and say, oh, okay. Got in trouble in the emotion about it. And then I learned to stand back. The job got enjoyable then. The work was not stressful when I stood back and observed the lay of the land. A lot of people get burned out doing that work because they stay involved in the stuff. They stay involved in the stuff. If we did that about life, ask questions, observe, be neutral, I think we could all live more peacefully. We could all accept one another more openly if we ask questions rather than making judgments about who I think you are because of how you dress, because of where you pray, because of how you vote, because of where you grew up, because of the car you drive, or whatever it is. If we ask questions first to seek to understand, if we stood back and didn't judge, didn't rush in with our stories, and attach all this stuff to a thing before you know what the thing is, maybe we could appraise life for what it is, appraise each other for what we truly are. And maybe if we taught our children how to do that, maybe if we embodied that first so our children could watch us and say, oh, that's how you live. My parents did less talking and more modeling behavior for me. I could watch my parents and figure out how to do things. And often they would say, I don't know where you saw that. But you didn't see that in my house. I don't know where you heard that language, but you didn't hear that in this house. Man, life is precious. Life is so precious. And I don't think I got that until I was really steeped in my spirituality. Really steeped in it. And I realized the gift we had been given. Like that video says, there's so little time. And it's going rapid fire, especially as we get older, right? Yeah, man. Well, being the young one in the room, Fred, I don't know. Look at how the time goes. Look how far we've gotten from Uvalde, Texas. Look at how we're already starting to lose what we felt that day. The way people felt galvanized that day to do something about that, to perhaps step into life a little bit differently now because that has happened again. And to remind ourselves that we have something to do. Man, it is not the other guy's job. And until we realize that our government represents us, and that it's our job to change this country, we're going to keep having this. Because we keep wanting to point fingers, and it's easy to point fingers. It's so much easier to point fingers than to say, perhaps there's something I need to change. Perhaps I'm not firing weapons, but perhaps there is violence within me in my thoughts, my expression, my actions throughout the day. So many of us are violent to ourselves in our thoughts before we have ever cracked the door and had an opportunity to be violent against someone else. And 99.9% of the things of our violent thoughts have no place in life. The things we perpetrate against each other in thought, word, and deed have no place in this precious place called life.
We have to give up competition.
Yeah, perhaps so. Perhaps competition has no where. But nature has some degree of competition. I don't know. We have to learn. We have to learn how to compete with love, to do all things with love. And get back to that direction to love. Love deeply, love radically, love fully. Love when you don't feel like loving. Then there won't be any enemies. Love, love, love. So what do we do? Perhaps if we stop the finger pointing. Perhaps if we step back and observe. First of all, observe ourselves. And how do we contribute to the violence of the world, the violent consciousness of this world? Think about our own thoughts, our own actions, our own expressions, how we move through the world, and can we do it with more love and more peace in our hearts? Can we observe and find out what a thing is before we judge it? Can we ask questions and be curious rather than think we already have it figured out? I've gotten in more trouble because I thought I knew what something was.
Kim, you know, whenever I read this, the will, and it said the situation with the tree, you know, it's there, and it is so. If we don't see it, then we have a chance of not seeing it, that it doesn't exist. You know? So, you know, I don't know, we've got to practice that. And these phones and stuff they're beautiful. I mean, I get to see my granddaughter, stuff like that, but they also bring so many things quickly. We used to not see back when we were just riding bicycles and, you know, having fun with each other.
Yeah, it's important what our consciousness is and what we think. And yes, if If we're never taught that there's a tree in front of us, if we are blind to it, then we don't know it exists unless somebody tells us. And so we get to choose how we see the world. And part of our responsibility, I believe, is that we see the world as a peaceful place, a place of harmony and love. Because we have to hold the vision in order for it to manifest. If the divine is, and I do believe that, omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent, then yes, it can be that, but we have to get in alignment with that, with our divinity, with the divine that is the basis of all life. And so as those shots were ringing out earlier this week, God was in the midst of all things. In the midst of that, in the midst of all that we encounter, all that happens to us, there is nowhere that God is not. If we stay there, that's what chills out my mind. That is what enabled me not to wake up in the middle of the night, terrified of dying. Knowing that God is everywhere present, and that this love, this radical love that Jesus asked us to do and to be, that love was here, and that I am good even if I am taken in the night. What brings me peace is that I know, because of that omnipresence, that omnipotence, that omniscience, that I am going to be okay no matter what happens. That I am held and supported. That all the wisdom I need to deal with whatever comes down my path is coming from the seat of who I am. And everything is good. It is all good. It is all good. It is all good. And those of us who can hold the high watch need to continue to hold the high watch. It's a spiritual muscle, and if we don't exercise it every single day, when the rug gets pulled out from under us, we are not going to know what to do. When the rug gets pulled out, it should be almost like a blip on the screen. You go, oh, look what happened. And then you come here. I know what I am. I know what my basis is. I know what my foundation is. I know what life is in the midst of this. We should not waver. That's what the masters do. They do not waver. They always know. They always know that they know that they know that they know. They know that they know that they know. We are called to be spiritual masters. So that when the stuff hits the fan, we have the shield of divinity. In us, through us, around us, on top of us, underneath us. And we do not waver. We stand in the midst and hold the space for all those who don't know their divinity. Who don't know their divinity. We are the answer. We are the answer. We're the answer. We're the answer. We've been given the answer. There's no need to run in confusion. To ask a million people, what do I do? What do I do? I remember my father telling me, unless you've gotten direction, spiritual direction, divine direction, to do something different, you continue on the same road. He said, nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. This has not changed. Who you are has not changed. What you've been given has not changed. What you are called to do has not changed unless you have received divine guidance that something needs to shift. Otherwise, be who you are. be who you are. The essence of love itself in the world. To be the light in times of darkness. To be the light in times of darkness. And then we'll have peace for everyone. Peace for everyone. Peace for everyone. Let's take this into meditation. Just breathe deeply. And here in this moment, let's search our hearts. Where can we love more? Where do we have violence in our heart or our minds? What do we need to heal? Whether it's within us, how can we open our hearts more? What areas of our life do we need to be more peaceful? Do we need to make amends with someone? Do we need to drop some judgment and find a curiosity for someone, for some group, for something, for some situation? In what instances are we violent with ourselves? How can we step up to be a part of the healing of the world? What is mine to do right now? What is mine to do in this situation? What is mine to do? Knowing that as I heal myself, the world heals a little bit more. Knowing that we are contributing to a collective consciousness, either of unity or separation. Of love or hate. Of peace or unrest. Of healing or dis-ease. How might I contribute to the positive evolution of this world? For me, for all those I love, and for all of humanity. All of humanity. All of humanity. So we take a deep breath now together. One breath, one love. As we exhale, we envision sending love and peace and joy and harmony throughout the planet. We infuse it in our hearts, in our minds, in our bodies, our spirits. And we commit now to spreading it around this beautiful planet that we live on. simply by being who we were born to be. The hands and feet of the divine, unique divine expressions. And so we declare it now in our hearts. And we step forward into the world being love, spreading love, spreading love. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen. And so now we raise the names of those for whom we want to pray. You can say them out loud. For Melinda and PJ, for Charlotte, for Brenda, for Vicky, for Reba and Eddie, for Marilyn, for Gwen and Diane, for Rose, for Fred, for Elizabeth and Sarah, for all those that we have named, and for all those we have not named in this moment, but who are in our hearts and our minds, for all those who deal with violence and strife on a daily basis, for all those who are grieving. We know that they are whole, perfect, and complete. And we know that their highest and best is at work. For there is a force in this world that is omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent. We know that there is nowhere that God is not. And that all things come together for good. Even though with our human minds we may not be able to make sense of it. Amen. And so we bring together this feeling of joy, this celebration. We bring together all of our emotion, our power, our strength, knowing that the source of all goodness in our lives is this same omnipresent love. And with that in our hearts and our minds, we now recite our celebration of giving. Together, divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all the good I am and have, all the good that I give and receive, and so it is.
This is a sing-along, please. You know it. You'll know what to do.
I'm just going to ask, please don't say little, because your light is, oh, not little. Shine it every place. Hit it, baby. And it goes like this. This light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Hey, this light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Watch it. Let it shine, shine, shine. Let it shine, shine, shine. Let it shine, 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 shine. Oh, let it shine. Oh, yeah, yeah. Come on, preacher. Here she go.
This light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
What you gonna do? What you
because
gonna
everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Shine, shine, shine. Shine, shine, shine. Shine, 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 shine.
Let it shine. We're going to the bridge. We can break the darkness if just like we break the night. Just keep on glowing and keep on knowing that everything gonna be alright. Oh, this light of mine,
Yes.
I'm gonna let it shine. What you say?
This light of mine, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. This light of mine, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Shine, shine, shine.
Keep on shining.
Shine, shine, shine.
Let it shine, 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 shine. We're gonna let it shine. We're gonna let it, let it, let it.
shine.
Keep letting it shine. Take it to the one. Let it shine.
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 Woohoo! First announcement, please, sir. Thank you, Candy Williams. Today's Candy's birthday. Say happy birthday, everybody. So first we want to say thank you to Pete and Dia yet again for everything you do here, but they took care of our door. What do you call it? Polyurethaned our door out there, removed the rest of the plastic, so our beautiful new door is now safe and protected from the elements. Thank you so much for your hard work. We appreciate you. So we have safety training next Sunday, June 5th, 12:30 to 1:15. We're going to provide refreshments, and especially this is very timely now. We have a safety program, emergency preparedness, so that in a number of different situations that can happen to any community, We now have a process for all of that, and so we're going to present that to you and let you know what it is we've been working for and how we need you to cooperate in different situations. So we'll go through that next Sunday. So please make time to be with us tomorrow. Next Sunday at 12:30. And Membership Sunday is June 19. If you would like to be a voting member of this community, as I always say, when you walk through those doors, you are a member of this family. And that means that you are one of us and we are one of you. But if you would like to be a voting member and be able to be on the board and be on the nominating committee, things like that, then you'd need to be a member in writing. So please text me at 618-YES-USCS if you would like to be a voting member, and send me your full name the way you would like it on your certificate. And then on June 19, we will officially install you as a voting member. So now we are going to talk about Memorial Day and celebrate, commemorate the lives of those who made the ultimate sacrifice. Go ahead, sir. They shall not grow old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning we will remember them. They shall not grow old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning we shall remember them. There are many times while I am out in the field that I really feel the need to talk to you. 27-year-old First Lieutenant Dean Allen wrote to his wife Joyce from Vietnam on July 10, 1967. Not so much about us, but what I have on my mind, he wrote. At 6'1", 200 pounds, Allen cut an imposing figure, but under his tough exterior was a compassionate, thoughtful officer who genuinely cared for his men. Being a good platoon leader is a lonely job, he wrote. Alan continued the letter the next day. It got so dark I had to stop last night. Writing like that doesn't really do that much good because you aren't here to answer me or discuss something. I guess it helps a little, though, because you are the only one I would say these things to. Maybe sometime I'll even try to tell you how scared I have been or am now. Sometimes I really wonder how I'll make it. My luck is running way too good right now. I just hope it lasts. Don't worry about what I have said. These are just things I think about sometimes. I'm so healthy I can't get a day out of the field, and you know I'm too damn mean to die. Sorry I haven't written more, but the weather is against me. You can't write out here when it rains hour after hour. I love you with all my heart. All my love always, Dean. 4 days later, Alan stepped on a landmine. He became one of more than 58,000 Americans who died in Vietnam. Since the days of the Revolutionary War, American soldiers have been writing letters that shared their fears, hopes for the future, and love with those who waited anxiously behind. This is the first chance I've had to write to you. I am, by the cause of Providence, in the field in defense of my country. James Williams began a letter to his son Daniel on June 12, 1779. Williams went on to express how deeply he missed his 8 children and their mother. Quote, who sits like a dove that has lost its mate, having the weight of the family on her shoulders, unquote. He described the accidental death of a fellow soldier, then concluded, uncertainty of life ought to induce every man to prepare for death. Williams died at the Battle of Kings Mountain in South Carolina. His letter is among the earliest of those preserved in which American soldiers confront the possibility that they are communicating with loved ones for the last time. Sadly, those last letters home would continue to document the tragic legacy of war through Iraq and Afghanistan. On September 11, 1918, Sergeant David Kerr, a Columbia University student who had dropped out of college to fight in World War I, sent a letter to his mother the day before the attack on Saint-Mihiel in France. While some troops consider it bad luck to write an "in case I die" letter, Kerr wanted his mother, his sister, and his fiancée to keep their spirits up, no matter the outcome. He wrote, tomorrow, the first totally American drive commences, and it gives me inexpressible joy and pride to know that I shall be present to do my share. Should I go under, therefore, I want you to know that I went without any terror of death, and that my chief worry is the grief my death will bring to those so dear to me. Since having found myself in Mary, there has been much to make life sweet and glorious. But death, while distasteful, is in no way terrible. I feel wonderfully strong to do my share well, and for my sake you must try to drown your sorrow in the pride and satisfaction, the knowledge that I died well in so clean a cause as is ours should bring you. Remember how proud I have always been of your superb pluck. Keep Elizabeth's future in mind, and don't permit my death to bow your head. My personal belongings will all be sent to you. Your good taste will tell you which to send to Mary. May God bless and keep you, dear heart, and be kind to little Elizabeth and those others I love so well. Love, David. The Americans broke through German lines but suffered 7,000 casualties in that 3-day offensive. 20-year-old David Kerr was among the dead. Among the most heartbreaking war letters are those written by soldiers who have been mortally wounded and realize that their life is ebbing away. John Ross Waller volunteered to serve as a drummer boy in the Civil War when he was only 15 years old. He was shot in the leg and languished in a military hospital for days. From his bed, he dictated a short letter to his family before he died. Dear sister, father, mother, and friends, I received your letter, but I don't think I ever shall see another that you write. This is Friday night, but I don't think I will live to see morning. But my kind friends, I am a soldier of Christ. I will meet you all in heaven. My leg has been taken off above my knee. I am dying at this time, so don't mourn after me, for I have bled and died for my country. May God help you all to pray for me. I want you all to meet me in heaven above. Dear sister, you wanted to know if my leg would be stiff. God bless your soul, sister. I will be stiff all over before 24 hours. My wound dresser is writing this letter for me. When you get this letter, write to Alexander Nealon, for I won't live till morning. So goodbye, my friends. May God be with you all. Goodbye. God bless my poor soul. Like Waller, a 21-year-old second lieutenant named Tommy Kennedy, serving in World War II, knew he would not come home alive. He had been captured by the Japanese at Corregidor and spent nearly 3 years as a prisoner of war. Fatally malnourished and incarcerated on a hell ship, Kennedy scribbled a farewell message to his parents on the backs of 2 family photographs. Mommy and Dad, it is pretty hard to check out this way without a fighting chance, but we can't live forever. I'm not afraid to die. I just hate the thought of not seeing you again. Buy Turkey Ranch with my money and just think of me often while you're there. Make liberal donations to both sisters. See that Gary has a new car his first year of high school. I'm sending Walt's medals to his mother. He gave them to me in September 42, last time I saw him and Bud. They went to Japan. I guess you can tell Patty that fate just didn't want us to be together. Hold a nice service for me in Bixfield. And put headstone in New Cemetery. Take care of my nieces and nephews. Don't ever let them want anything as much as I want warmth and water right now. Loving and waiting for you in the world beyond, your son, Lieutenant Tommy Kennedy. Kennedy's letter was smuggled from one POW to another, and it was finally mailed to his parents in late 1945, more than 4 years after their son had left for the Pacific. Let's have a moment of silence now. So we hold in our hearts all those who made the ultimate sacrifice and all those who love them and grieve their loss. Amen. And now let us stand and sing the National Anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were Now we have our mission and vision. Jerry, we can remain standing.
If you'll join me in saying our vision and mission statement.
We are Unity Spiritual Center, Saxe. We are a thriving global community of spiritual seekers, transforming lives through love and the expression of our innately divine gifts. Our mission is to inspire spiritual and personal growth through the teaching and demonstrations of unity principles toward the realization of living our best lives. Divine wisdom is at work in every area of our lives right now. Everything is always working out for us. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. It's your presence, your love, your light that makes this the absolute best place to be on Sunday morning. Have a glorious day, a glorious week. Namaste.